In Exodus 34, we're told when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands, he was not aware that his face was radiant because he had spoken with the Lord. When Aaron and all the Israelites saw Moses, his face was radiant, and they were afraid to come near him. Now, I don't fault Aaron and the Israelites for this. Moses had been up on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, and for all they knew, he was dead. And now he comes down the mountain with his face lit up like a glow stick. I'd be weirded out too. Now, that said, it seems like that's kind of the idea behind Revelation 18:1, just on a much larger scale. John begins, "After this, I saw another angel coming down from heaven. He had great authority, and the earth was illuminated by his splendor." Now, like Moses, the angel's proximity to the throne caused him to glow throughout the earth. And because of the symbolic nature of John's apocalypse, we're for the time left to wonder if the angel's illuminating work was merely physical or whether this entails spiritual implications as well. Now, given the multitude of references to spiritual light in John's gospel, I think that's probably the more natural reading here. You might push back and ask, well, why didn't I make the same connection to a metaphorical spiritual darkness in the 5th bowl of Revelation 16, which I now readily concede? Let's move on. Just as the angel's splendor enlightened the whole earth, the strength of his mighty voice was to carry his message throughout the whole earth. In verse 2 and 3, we're told, with a mighty voice he shouted, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling for demons and a haunt for every impure spirit, a haunt for every unclean bird, a haunt for every unclean and detestable animal. For all the nations have drunk the maddening wine of her adulteries. The kings of the earth committed adultery with her, and the merchants of the earth grew rich from her excessive luxuries." The message of Babylon's fallenness is a repetition of the exact phrase in chapter 14. As I said then, the angel is delivering a message about the future, Babylon's fall, but in the past tense case, as if it was something that's already happened. So certain is the message in its fulfillment. And what's the result of its fallenness? It becomes Detroit, a once great city, Paris of the Midwest, Motown. It's become desolate. I'm being hard on Detroit. I know they're making strides, but Google images of abandoned buildings in Detroit, and you get the idea. The long road of industrial and population decline has left it a hollow shell, at least in places. And Babylon's abandonment is not so innocent. It's become a hollowed out shell of its former self as a sign of judgment. And truth be told, Babylon is not entirely uninhabited. I mean, that's just the thing. It's like a real citywide haunted house filled with demons and other impure spirits. Unclean birds and unclean animals. Think vultures and packs of stray dogs and cats, rats and other things that feed on trash piles and the dead. Back to the word haunting, it could mean dwelling or habitation, but more commonly in Greek, it's a word for prison. Babylon is thus a place spirits and unclean animals can't even get away from if they tried. And the reason I stress this passage is just as the harlot contrasts with the bride of the wife of the Lamb in Revelation 21, so this once proud and prosperous Babylon is set in contrast with the holy city of Revelation 21, with its golden streets and gates of pearl. And the message to God's people is, do not fall for the city of this world, because that city has fallen. Maybe not yet, but soon it assuredly will. Let us fix our eyes on the city that is to come at the Lamb's return. Have a great week.